Hey, what's going on, Doom Squad? As I promised yesterday, today I'm going to be bringing you a more in-depth talk about Silksong news that we got yesterday. I'm going to talk about some of my thoughts on what we got in the trailer, like the new stuff, and just overall hype of Silksong. Also, more news that came out yesterday that I forgot to mention in yesterday's video, so we're going to cover that too. Okay, so the first thing I want to mention is this line right here, where Gibson says, "It was never stuck, it was always progressing." And then a little bit later, they said if they had kept going, it could have taken 15 years to finish. Judging from what he said right here, judging from that, we can assume the game is probably going to be big if they were working on it during that whole 8 years we've been waiting. Or 7 years, I don't know how long it is. If it was never stuck and it was always progressing, you can only imagine how big the game has to be, right? Second thing that I want to cover is this. We felt like continued updates were just going to sour people on the whole thing, Gibson said, because all we could really say is we're still working on it. They could send out more gameplay like they've done quite a bit in the past year, but like he said, he didn't want to spoil the game too much. So they didn't want to give us news, because either it was spoil the game or give news that's not real news. Now, the last thing I want to cover in this is where Gibson said we have a plan for post-release content like the 4 Hollow Knight DLCs. So that means that not only is Silksong releasing in 2 weeks, but they already have a plan for the post-game DLCs. So, yeah, that's wild in itself. Anyways, what we're going to cover now is kind of a small analysis on the trailer. I don't want to deep dive into it and analyze every pixel. I just want to kind of cover it a little bit, share my thoughts and such. Let me get to the first thing I want to mention. Here-ish. So, here it says, "Ascend to the peak of a haunted kingdom." And I am newer to the waiting for Silksong. Like, I haven't waited for the full 7 years. I've been waiting for like 3 or 4 of them, maybe. I'm wondering, is like the fact that it's like haunted, is that already known? Because I did not know that. Because like, obviously, Hollow Knight, like, it's infected. That's what it is. So Silksong's like haunted, as you can see here. Is that new news, or did we already know that? Let me know in the comments. The next thing I want to comment on, this one I do know was known. There is going to be a lot more towns than one in Silksong, and as you can see, here's just one of them. And here's a couple little items that I'm wondering if they're the new charms or what. I'm unsure. And then we have a little view of the map, some areas here. Obviously, we've seen the Deep Docks. I've not seen Farfield, Hunter's March, whatever these areas are. If they are somewhere, I've not seen them. I've seen Deep Docks, Mossy Grotto, and like the little clips from each area that like we don't have the full area name. So the map's cool. Is for one this. Like, just look how fun this parkour on those enemies looks. Like, that looks incredible, honestly. Like, terrific. The next thing is the bosses. There's over 40 bosses. There's gonna be more bosses than there is in Hollow Knight. The bosses are my favorite part of Hollow Knight, so I'm so hyped for them. This moment right here, for one, needle arts? This looks exactly like a Nailmaster sequence right here. There's the stag. Needle arts. This is just hilarious. And then, title card plays. Of course, September 4th. And that is my deeper analysis on the Silksong release trailer. I hope you enjoyed the video, but before you go, I do have a small announcement. I have officially opened my public Discord server for anyone who wants to join, called the Doom Squad, and you can find the link to join in the description below. It's just an area to chill, talk about Hollow Knight, Minecraft, other games, talk about the Discount Life series. If you want someone to maybe do some Hollow Knight lockout bingos with, I'm always down. But if you're interested, check the description and you can join. Hope to see you there. So that's going to be it for today's video, but I do have one more question before I go. When Silksong releases, would you like me to record my first playthrough and upload it in long episodes on YouTube? let me know in the comments, because I can if you want me to. But with that, I am going to have to go, so I will see you in the next one. Bye.